The following program is brought to you in living color.
It's New Hampshire primary day, and the results are in. Well, sort of. A Texas legal panel disbars a prosecutor, and all he did was send an innocent man to death row. If you're planning ahead for a good April Fool's joke, scratch throwing a living alligator through a drive-through window off your list. It's been done. And there's nothing funny about driving drunk, even if you do it while dressed as a clown.
From the HCI newsroom in beautiful St. Francis, Wisconsin, this is the Midday News Report of news. Hot, steaming, piles of news, streaming from your speakers, directly into your head, where it can do the most harm. Today's Midday News Report of news, for the 9th of February, 2016. Here is award-winning newsman, Ed Baxter.
It's primary day. It's primary day.
Tonight is the Day of the Dead. Tonight, the dead return.
And the results are in. Or at least the first results from the tiny New Hampshire towns Dixville Notch, Millsfield, and Hart's Location that practice the time-honored tradition of voting at midnight to claim the distinction of casting the election's first primary ballots. Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont emerged as the Democrats' big winner in the wee hours on Tuesday with 17 votes in total, while Hillary Clinton received 9.
You have chosen wisely.
On the Republican side, Senator Ted Cruz of Texas, Donald J. Trump, and Governor John Kasich of Ohio each had 9 votes. Oh, by the way, in Hart's Location, a Democrat named Mark Stewart Greenstein received 2 votes. Voter fraud? We'll leave that to you.
Wait a minute. This would degrade you.
A Texas legal panel voted on Monday to disbar a former prosecutor for sending an innocent man to death row by presenting tainted testimony and making false statements that undermined the defendant's alibi. The Board of Disciplinary Appeals, appointed by the Texas Supreme Court, upheld a state licensing board's decision to disbar Charles Sebesta for his conduct in convicting Anthony Graves, who spent 18 years in prison on charges of setting a fire that killed 6 people before being freed. Graves, who spent 12 of those years on death row, had sought to have Sebesta disbarred. Sebesta had convicted Robert Carter for the murders and tried to get Carter to say Graves was an accomplice. But the day before he was to testify, Carter told Sebesta he acted alone and Graves was not involved. Sebesta never disclosed this information to the defense, the board said. Sebesta then presented false testimony implicating Graves, crucial in a conviction since there was no physical evidence linking him to the crime. Before Graves' attorney was to present the alibi witness, Sebesta falsely stated in court that the witness was a suspect in the murders and could be indicted. The witness refused to testify and left the court. Graves' conviction was reversed in 2006, and he was remanded for a new trial. In 2010, a special prosecutor found there was no credible evidence that Graves was involved in the murders, and Graves was then released. Poor Mr. Sebesta said he was being unfairly treated and that Graves was justly convicted. The Disciplinary Appeals Board found that Charles Sebesta's misconduct was so egregious that they characterized him as having unclean hands. and that is certainly a fitting description.
I see they told you I was a pig.
A Florida fast food restaurant got a customer it wasn't expecting when a live alligator was tossed through a drive-through window by a patron. Joshua James, 23, of Jupiter, Florida, had wanted to play a practical joke on a friend working at the Wendy's restaurant in Royal Palm Beach when he decided to hurl the reptile into the building.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
It was a stupid prank, his mother, Linda James, said. James faces charges of aggravated assault and unlawful possession and transportation of an alligator. The incident took place in October. James found the 3-foot alligator on the side of the road and led the reptile into his truck, according to a Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission incident report cited by the station. He drove to the Wendy's restaurant, placed an order, received a drink at the drive-thru window, and then threw the alligator through the opening, according to the police. The report contains a photo of an alligator sitting on the floor of the restaurant. The alligator was not turned into Wendy's burgers, but was instead released back into the wild. And if you think you're going to get a break from the police in Alabama for driving drunk while dressed as a clown, think again.
There's a package for you at the door.
Gee, I wonder who it's from.
There's no return address, but the postmark says it's from Slovenia.
Golly, I don't know anybody in Slovenia.
Well, what are you waiting for? Open it.
I'm just naive enough to do that, honey. I mean, what else are you gonna do with a mysterious package sent from some unknown person in Eastern Europe?
Well, what is it?
Well, mercy sakes alive. Someone has sent me a bowel movement.
Yes, nothing gets person's attention faster than a bowel movement in a Tupperware container. And here at Posta Poop, we take great care to spell name correctly and put correct address on label so poop show up at right person home. It's the new-fashioned way. When you have something to say it with poop.
Honey, do we have a Tupperware bowl we can spare?
Sure. What do you need it for?
Well, it would be rude not to return the gesture.
You're so polite.
Here you go, you crazy Republican bastard.
Make sure you send enough to share.
No problem. I had tacos for lunch.
Posta Poop, when you care enough to send the very worst. It's a great holiday gift.
I'm just like everyone else in America. I've been on an antidepressant medication as long as I can remember. And it worked. Every morning I'd get out of bed, take my medication, and look forward to a bright new day full of promise and adventure. Then by the end of the day, the realization that I still had the same dead-end bullshit job, and my wife was still the nagging bitch she always has been, and my kids were still disobedient little brats, I go to bed every night just horribly despondent over the way my life was turning out. That's when I asked my doctor about Acceptitol.
Acceptitol, fluvocertraperoxapam, has been clinically proven to eliminate emotions and expectations in adults.
Now I take an Acceptitol every morning and nothing matters. My boss is a jerk? Meh. My wife cheats on me with the UPS guy? Meh. My kids are sniffing glue? Eh. I just don't care anymore.
Acceptitol has been shown to cause explosive bloody diarrhea, congestive heart failure, dry skin, dry mouth, dry eyes, and bad breath in dogs. Don't take Acceptitol if you are driving, handling heavy machinery, or firearms until you know what effect Acceptitol will have on your inner rage. Acceptitol has also been shown to cause cancer of the liver, cancer of the anus, cancer of the heart, and sudden death from otherwise unexplained reasons. Don't take Acceptitol if you have a reason to wake up in the morning. Acceptitol should not be taken while drinking alcohol, smoking, or breathing. Ask your doctor about studies that show Acceptitol may be responsible for spontaneous combustion in people over 40. Acceptitol should never be taken in combination with any other drug. Your doctor does not have time to explain all the risks, so have someone read the tiny print in the FDA-required warning pamphlet to you.
I used to want to kill myself. Now I just don't care. Thank you, Acceptitol.
If you are just sick of it all but don't have the guts to kill yourself, ask your doctor if Acceptitol will help you. Not to be taken internally, externally, or sublingually, available in 10-pound suppository form only.
News from the Internet.
Investigators said there was nothing funny about it. Officers in Alabama arrested a man wearing a clown costume for driving under the influence of alcohol on Saturday. Another driver reported 51-year-old Joel Sloan's red Ford SUV weaving in and out of traffic on a road in Jefferson County. After a sheriff's deputy pulled him over, Sloan said he'd had only a few drinks at a nearby restaurant. Still, they booked him on the DUI charge. He reportedly never explained why he was wearing the colorful suit and wig and clown makeup. But you can bet he was of great amusement to his cellmates.
There never was, and there never will be another like you.
Here's some good news for those of you who play the Powerball, and you're oft-times told that your chances of winning the lottery are far less than being struck by a meteor. Well, a meteor struck and killed a bus driver in India on Saturday, while a returning asteroid will be just 11,000 miles away from Earth at its closest flyby next month. This is according to NASA. A meteorite is suspected of killing the man in India while he was standing outside a cafeteria at a college campus in Vellore district. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister J. said. The driver died from blast injuries while being taken to a hospital. 2 gardeners and a student were injured in the blast. Police found no traces of explosives in the blast site, while a dark blue stone resembling a diamond was found in a 5-foot-deep crater, prompting authorities to speculate it was caused by a meteorite. Death from a meteorite hit is rare because rocks such as these usually burn up while passing through the Earth's atmosphere, or land in the ocean, or hit remote areas. So if you're feeling lucky, forget that. Asteroid 2013 TX68 could fly past Earth as far out as 9 million miles, or as close as 11,000 miles on March 5th, according to scientists at NASA's Center for NEO Studies at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California. Nice that they could narrow it down like that. The same asteroid flew past Earth at a comfortable distance of about 1.3 million miles 2 years ago. It could impact with odds of no more than 1 in 250 million, the scientists said. Explain that to the guy who got hit by a meteor.
Save me, cadet! It's your duty as a sycophantic underling.
Sorry to burst your bubble, but you can't trust anyone. An 81-year-old nun has been charged with hit and run. Nun hit and run by nun after she was accused of getting in a car accident and then driving away. And she now faces up to a year behind bars if proven guilty. The car accident reportedly took place in a New Hampshire department store parking lot. The nun has been identified as Sister Rachel Dumont. She has now been charged. No clue as to whether or not she gave being distracted by Donald Trump's hair as an excuse. She struck a vehicle last December 16th in a Kohl's store parking lot located in Plaistow, New Hampshire. The drivers were not hurt or injured during the accident, but there was little damage to the vehicles. Police officials said that when the driver of the other car, a 50-year-old woman involved in the car accident, got out to try and exchange information, Dumont did not give away details as she drove away. Like, what sort of details about car insurance is a nun going to have? The woman from the other car was able to write down the license plate number of Dumont's car and give police officials the description. The nun turned herself in to the police just the other day, Tuesday, February 2nd. She surrendered after police officials issued a warrant last January 20th. Be on the lookout for a nun, and they're harder to find now that they're no longer wearing the habit. The nun could not be reached for comment, apparently in Cloister.
Hey, where are the white women at?
And no matter how drunk you and your companion get, do not give the keys to your 9-year-old. This, as the Midday News Report of News continues.
What's wrong, Madge? You look irregular, out of sorts.
I should say I am, Lucinda. I haven't taken a good dump in 3 days.
Have you tried Phil's colon blow?
Who the hell are you?
I'm the Phillips colon blow lady.
Well, that answers that.
And take a look at this diagram.
I love diagrams.
Isn't this a radio commercial?
See how a sink gets all plugged up with clogs of hair and grease?
Yucky.
I'll say the same thing happens to your colon. But instead of hair and grease, your colon is clogged up by cheese, hamburger, and French fries.
Oh, dear. How do I get clean again?
Simple. Drink 8 ounces of Phil's Colon Blow. It works just like those liquid drain cleaners, but without harming your delicate pipes. And the horrible taste will kill your appetite for days, giving your sensitive colon time to relax and heal.
Give me that bottle.
Wait, there's 2 things you gotta do first. First, you gotta pay for it, and then...
Oh, you were right about the taste. It's horrid.
Jesus, Madge. You need to be sitting on the toilet when you take it. That's how fast it works. New Phil's Colon Blow. Available at supermarkets and drugstores near you.
Clean up on aisle 3, and 4, and 5, 6.
It's an obsession nobody talks about.
It's like they're little and big at the same time, and they're just so cute.
Some say it's a crazy obsession.
There's just something about the way they smell.
But is it illegal? Is it immoral?
The judge says it's okay to look, but not to touch.
But some let their crazy obsession ruin their lives.
Come here, you fat little cutie. Get in the basket. Get in the basket.
My crazy obsession with big fat American gypsy toddlers with tiaras. Tonight at 10, 9 Central on the Learning Channel.
And now, here with an unlimited supply of misinformation.
All right, fat man, let's do this.
I am not that goddamn fat.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
From Wisconsin, the state that made fetal alcohol syndrome famous, a Wisconsin couple allowed their 9-year-old daughter to drive them and their 11-month-old baby because they were too drunk to do so themselves, according to Polk County Circuit Court records. Jason Roth, 36, and Amanda Eggert, 32, pleaded not guilty at the court on Friday to charges of recklessly endangering safety and neglecting a child. On January 31st, a sheriff's deputy responded to a call about an erratic driver and found the couple and their children parked by a boat drop in Polk County. That's about 75 miles northeast of Minneapolis. The deputy arrested the couple when he learned that their 9-year-old daughter was driving them and their baby home in their pickup truck because they were both intoxicated. Eggert also faces several charges stemming from a fight she had with paramedics who arrived to help her with a cut on her hand suffered when she was snowmobiling earlier in the day. Lawyers for the couple were not immediately available for comment.
I refuse to act that dopey.
We all know the old saying, no crying over spilled milk. Well, authorities in Texas say there were no reports of injuries, or tears for that matter, when a truck lost part of its load of milk cartons onto the roadway. Milk and cartons were spread across Interstate 45 after a 3-vehicle collision about 5:50 in the morning on Monday that involved the truck losing part of its load northeast of downtown Houston. A driver involved in the crash said he and another motorist collided while trying to avoid each other after the milk spill. There were no reports of injuries, but traffic delays persisted more than 2 hours during cleanup efforts. And one wonders why so many criminals find it necessary to put on their most stupid behavior while at a police station. Authorities say a Pennsylvania man stole several police badges while he was being held for questioning in a domestic dispute. Police say 26-year-old Robert Dingledine, yes, that is his real name, Robert, stole the badges October 30th while being questioned by Irwin police. The small town has all its borough offices in one building, so Dingledine was held in the mayor's office to keep him away from a woman who was also being questioned in the dispute. Police say they didn't realize that Dingledine had taken anything from the office until someone else returned one of the stolen badges last month. Police say Dingledine has since apologized and returned the 3 other badges he took. He faces a preliminary hearing May 18th on the theft-related charges. He doesn't have an attorney, not likely to get one, and he does not have a listed phone number, or we could all call to taunt him. Dingledine.
I'm sorry, can I offer you a drink? How about this expensive prostitute?
This has some Rhode Island city councilors scratching their heads until they're bloody and raw. They want to know more about a middle-aged male senior center van driver who posed as an elderly woman during a press conference. The council debated the fallout from the January stunt. The Cranston Senior Center's van driver posed as a woman for an event about snow shoveling programs. Senior Services Director Sue Stenhouse resigned soon after. Few details have been divulged since then, but some mostly Democratic council members want more answers from Republican Mayor Alan Fung. Some mainly Republican council members say the case has been closed. Councilman Donald Blotz says it doesn't make a difference whether the senior services director resigned on her own or the mayor asked for her resignation. Republicans blocked a move to question the mayor's staff behind closed doors, but the question has not yet been answered. What was the guy doing wearing women's clothes? Expressing the inner female bus driver? We may never know.
I've listened backstage to people applaud. It's like waves of love coming over the footlights and wrapping you up. Imagine to know every night that different hundreds of people love you. They smile, their eyes shine, you've pleased them. They want you. You belong. Just that alone is worth anything.
Well, you know the old Rolling Stones song, you can't always get what you want. A man who was found not guilty of his wife's death by reason of mental insanity. Not sure if there is any other kind of insanity, but he was found not guilty because of his mental insanity. He will not get her pension under a judge's ruling. This is up in Olympia, Washington, where the newspaper reports that on January 22nd, the state slayer law says the killer cannot profit from their victim's death. And that applies to Robert Louis Selland, a patient at Western State Hospital. Selland stabbed his wife, Carol, to death in 2011. Cheryl Gasick pushed to make sure her sister's killer did not get the $21,000 she'd paid into her pension as a state employee. The state had asked where to put the funds. We've got a suggestion. Gasick says as the primary beneficiary, she'll give the money to her sister's 3 adult children. State senators have unanimously sent a bill clarifying the slayer law to the House.
You don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a contender.
Is that a banana on your chest, Mom, or are you just glad to see me? A 99-year-old woman in Miami said she woke up to find an animal on her chest, according to a veterinarian caring for the unusual creature. I was awakened by a phone call at 2 a.m., which is never good news, and it was from my terrified mother-in-law, said Carlos Agueras. Agueras said he rushed over and found the animal that had terrified his mother-in-law. The only other person in the home at the time was her live-in caregiver, who was not found laying on her chest. It was a kinkajou, an animal usually found in the rainforests of Central and South America, according to veterinarian Dr. Don J. Harris, who works for the South Dade Avian and Exotic Animal Medical Center. The animal, whose name is Banana, was being cared for at a South Dade Animal Hospital where the medical center operates, but will be reunited with its owner tomorrow morning. When we come back, if you're going to market in body parts, make sure they're clean.
This is Maria. She's an orphan. Look at her face. I said, look at it. See how her tears cut little furrows through the dirt that is caked onto her cheeks. She cannot bathe because the water here is dirtier than she is. She is in pain from the parasites that are eating her from the inside out. She is hungry. Our film crew is enjoying a little picnic lunch right now. She can smell the fried chicken and corn on the cob. But can she have any? No, because she's a poor child, a child of poverty, an orphan who needs your help. See how easy it is to make her cry. Just off camera, our sound man is waving a drumstick at her, right out of her grasp. Other crew members are enjoying ice-cold soda pop. Maria would have to work for 8 weeks in the pain mines here in her village to earn enough money to buy a soda pop. But then she would have to drink it warm because she has no refrigerator. And she would have to share it with her 57 fellow orphan brothers and sisters. And with a 12-ounce bottle of soda, you can only share with so many people. Don't look away. Don't change the channel.
Look at the fear and anger in her eyes as I unwrap this delicious tuna salad sandwich and eat it right in front of her. Mayonnaise. Delicious. But the fish here are dirtier than Maria. Now, you might ask, how can a camera crew and an on-air talent enjoy a tasty picnic lunch when there is such hunger in the world? How can I be so heartless and cruel as to eat this delicious, moist and yummy tuna fish sandwich right in the face of a child who would gladly do anything she was told just to get one discarded piece of bread crust that falls from my sandwich. Now, no, that's mine. It's because we're making a point. You live in the land of plenty. You live in the most wealthy nation on earth. You could make a daily donation of only $57 to Child Scam. Your donation would help kids like Maria. And one out of every one of those $57 you send every day goes to help children who need your help. Children like dirty, stinky, worm-ridden, hungry little Maria here, who we will never see again once we pack up and leave, taking every little last scrap of food with us to feed our dogs at home. Dogs who eat better than these children do. Get off your ass. You're sitting on your wallet. We need your credit card number and your daily commitment of $57 to Child Scam. So after our expenses, we can spend that dollar to make caskets to bury these children in sanitary conditions. Give. Give today. Or choke on your sandwich. The choice is yours.
News from the Internet.
Now, I don't know if these two stories are related, but we'll just assume they are. Have you ever found yourself wandering around the street late at night just wishing there was some place to find a fresh hunk of meat? Well, people in Paris who need raw meat 24/7 are now well catered for after the city installed its first meat dispensing vending machine. The machine was installed outside a butcher's shop in the French capital and offers products including a faux filet of beef, Bayonne ham from the Basque country, and beef carpaccio. Local media report that the machine sells products at market prices, with the cost of 2 pork chops around £3.85, which is whatever in American money, and it accepts credit and debit cards. Now, on the same subject of fresh chunks of meat, a Detroit area couple marketing body parts for medical training failed to disclose that heads and necks came from bodies infected with a disease, according to federal indictment unsealed Friday. Arthur Rathburn and his wife Elizabeth Rathburn of Grosse Pointe Park operated International Biological Incorporated, which rented out body parts for medical or dental training. Rented out body parts. Is there a deposit? Yeah. They're charged in a 13-count indictment that alleges fraud and false statements. It's not clear whether anyone's health was affected. An email seeking additional comment from Prosecutor McQuaid was not returned. The Rathburns are accused of fraud for failing to inform medical groups on at least 3 occasions in 2011 and 2012 about diseased body parts, including hepatitis B and HIV. Are you done with that jawbone over there? And that's your midday news report of the news from HCI. In the HCI newsroom, I'm Ed Baxter. And tomorrow we'll run down the results of the New Hampshire primary, and we'll run down several of the candidates as well. Until next time, may all your news involve non-fatal injuries. I'm Ed Baxter. Good day.
The HCI Midday News Report of News is a public service presentation of the HCI Podcast Network. Your host, Ed Baxter. The Midday News Report of News is produced and edited by Sir William Schmalfelt, OBE, and is the preferred source of news for the crowned heads of Europe. Join us again for our next Midday News Report of News next time. You are listening to HCI, the Hot Cheddar Injection Podcast Network.